All this is legend shit. You just gotta wait. I'm sorry. All this is legend shit. You just gotta wait. Salam, shalom. Big Usia speaking. Peace and wisdom. Subscribe to the channel. Thumb me. Visit the website wiseservant.org. Now let's get into some deep knowledge. Of course, you guys see the title. I forgot the title, but I know the content. Of course, if you guys have any questions, y'all can ask. Before I begin, if any of you guys don't mind, what did I title? Peace and wisdom. Let's live. Let's live. So long. Peace, peace. Can you guys help me out and tell me what the title is? I want to go into some deep things. Extra deep. As I wait for you guys to peace and wisdom, Dina May. Can you let me know what the title of this video is? Death, Memory, and the Dual Side of the Ego. That's not what I'm just playing. Let me stop playing. That's not what my video is supposed to be about. What is that? What? Huh? Death, memory, no. Well, I guess that will have to do. Let's start with memory then. Straight off the head. I thought this video was about tales from the streets. No, I'm just playing. Salam, shalom. Hopefully y'all in good spirits. I know a lot of you guys are, emotionally beat down. They jumped you emotionally. On the emotional planes of life, you're being jumped. And many other things. Mental level as well. Now let's start with memory. You have Memorial Day. Of course, you guys all know this as the holiday. Now, Memorial Day is the day of the great memory. Life is awareness. Of course, awareness is consciousness. And so with consciousness, our awareness, comes intellect, intelligence and information. I'll say it again. You have consciousness or awareness. This is to be awake, aware. But with awareness comes intellect, information, knowledge, however you want to word it. This comes with consciousness. Now, I know, of course, you guys are born with consciousness and you don't know nothing. So follow me. With consciousness or awareness, you have information or knowledge. Of course, with unconsciousness, y'all know what that's like. It's dark and you don't know nothing because you're not present or aware. Now, we're born with just blank awareness. We fill it up with whatever we choose to remember. But in regards to the great memory, you get my point? Man is born with consciousness and awareness, but he is not born with the intellect that comes with it. He fills that space up, or his awareness, with whatever he can remember. And this becomes his memory. But this is not the great memory. You get my point? Meaning there's nothing a man needs to remember but the great memorial, or the great memory. It's like I tell you, before darkness you have light. And light is whole. And so all comes from this realm of light and wholeness. Now when I say light, you guys think of what you can physically see, because your perspective is from the physical. Light means awareness, to be present, to be aware, whether you're in body or not. You guys have dreams, y'all are aware and awake in the dream without the vessel. So I'm trying to get you guys to grasp what a mind is, or a soul. It's an awareness. Awareness is an awakeness or a presence. You get my point? And this is life. And that's what light is. Light is not the physical light you guys can see. Of course, that light isn't physical, but you guys can see that light. You say, okay, that's light. That's light in the physical, but that is not light. Light is awareness. You can say awareness evolves into light. Of course, awareness is like air. Y'all cannot detect. You get it? Consciousness or awareness. But let's say these airs evolves into light. And so you can correlate light and awareness or consciousness as one and the same. When you hear light in ancient texts, it's speaking of aware, like consciousness, not being unconscious. Now, you have all the information and knowledge of forever time, meaning the Alpha, the Omega. Knowledge from the beginning to the end, all knowledge. And this comes with awareness. So if you remember the video I did when I was explaining the realm of light, where all is whole, this light or awareness, which is what it would be, has its individuals or its intellect that make it up. You get it? Awareness is not supposed to just be a present, and you see whatever you see that you like and you put it into your awareness, store it as memory. You're supposed to be present, meaning if you have awareness, it's supposed to have the intellect or the knowledge of forever time with it. We're not born that way, you get my point? And so, like I said, all a man needs to remember is the great memory. You guys view it as if y'all have a past life. Y'all past life is that realm of light where all is whole. If you think like the Bible where it says Holy Ghost, or the God is holy, if you put a W in front of the H, then you make him get the point better, like what holy means. Like whole, like unified. Many unified as one choir, one congregation. You get my point? Now, from this realm of light, of course, you get the opposite, darkness. Now, most people do not understand this, but darkness is not a light or a color, it's a pigment. So you can say like this: death is a sound. When I say a sound, I mean like a word, a sound. Death in its beginnings is just a sound. This is air or a vibration. You get my point? That sound of those airs evolve into substance. Like you see air just turn into water. Death are the sound that death starts as, which is just moving airs, a vibration. It evolves to become substance. This is the opposite of light. Substance is liquid. Now, if you're lost, you have all the colors that you have, and these are light. But when you get to the color black, you're talking about pigment or substance. Meaning pigment is a substance. Death is a sound that evolves into a substance. That substance is a dark pigment, dark substance. And that dark substance will evolve into matter. But there's no life in matter. You get my point? And so death is physical. Life isn't. Life is a light or awareness. This is not physical. Yes, you can see light, but you cannot grab light. It is not physical. That's light and life. On the other hand, you have death and darkness. Darkness being physical, death and darkness being one. It evolves, meaning death being a sound or vibration. This will evolve into a substance, a dark substance, pigment. Think menstrual cycle blood. And within it is an egg cell that evolves into matter. I'm giving you reference now. And so, death, which is a sound, or airs, evolves into a substance, or darkness. Darkness being a pigment, not a color. You can look it up. Black is not a color. It's a pigment, a substance. It's physical. It's when color or light evolves into substance or physical. You get it? Of course, that dark substance evolves into matter. Now, the matter is dead like what it evolved from, which is death, which is a sound or airs. Now, on the other side, you have light, which is awareness or life. And you can say, awareness evolves into light. And that is life. The awareness being the consciousness in the light that it evolves into being the realm of its existence. where it runs around and does its thing. Think like a dream. You don't have your physical body or the physical world, but you have a realm of light that you run around in. When I say light, we speaking aware. When you're in dream, you are aware. You can see. And so, light and awareness is one and the same. For a thing to be lit is to say a thing is aware, like it's on. And so, put up a one if this is clear. Can I get some thumbs up, please? What is going on today? You guys came in here with a problem? Because I don't teach. I don't teach. I don't teach the emotionally impoverished. It's a waste of my time. And so, can I get some thumbs up going in here? Before I continue on with light and death or darkness, I want to say a deep thing on. You guys seem like y'all come in here disturbed, lacking on the thumbs up. Peace and wisdom, Dina May. Hopefully you guys all gave thumbs up. I'm going to say this, because a lot of you guys are impoverished beyond what you can fathom. And you're bringing that poverty here. And so, you're lost in the physicalness. You have your struggles. I'm about growing. And so I want to say this. And use this as an example for the rest of you guys that's trying to grow. This is not for the disturbed ones of you guys that's here. I'm not even sure why you're here. Should be 23 likes. Or however many of you guys are in here. If you're rich, let's say wealth. If you're wealthy and you give a poor person $1 of your wealth, I'll say it again. If you're wealthy and you give a poor person $1 of your wealth, you take on $1 worth of their poverty. Now you're wealthy, I suppose $1 worth of their poverty does nothing to you. But I want you to take that scenario. If a wealthy man gives $1 to a poor person, and he takes on $1 worth of that person's poverty, because like there's a trade. Now he has more than $1, so it wouldn't matter. But if he only had $1 and gave it to the poor person, then he'd be the poor. You know what? So the point I'm making is if a rich or wealthy person gives a poor person $1 of their wealth, in exchange they take on $1 worth of the poor person's poverty. Now if you apply this to mental and spiritual wealth, when I say spiritual, I'm speaking of the emotional state. If you apply what I said to that, then grasp. As you start to become emotionally and mentally wealthy, you can't afford to give $1 to the poor. Some of y'all gonna get lost on the physical. And so I'm gonna say again, we speaking about the emotional state and the mind. When you get to a state of growth, mental wealth, emotional wealth, you might want to be mindful of how much of your mind or your emotional state you give to the impoverished. Because this is different than physical monies. Give a impoverished minded person some of your mind, you take on the same equal amount of their mental poverty that you give them of your mental wealth. Same with the emotions. You talk to somebody that's emotionally impoverished. And so, however much of your time or your wealthy emotional state you give unto them, you're going to take back equal measure. And when you're talking the mind and the spirit, so you can't afford 50 cents, 10 cents, 25 cents, no cents. And so be mindful of these things for those of y'all that's trying to grow and grasp what I'm saying. You want to become wealthy emotionally, mentally. Get my point? Because these things is going to determine your physical. Wealth being a balance, rich being an extreme. Sylvana Studio said they can only give what they have is what you mean by the poor. So this message is for the wealthy. Those of you that's poor, but those of you that's wealthy should have grasped what I said in regards to the poor only have to give what they have. This don't have nothing to do with the poor. I'm not trying to deal with the poor. The poor, I'm speaking emotionally and mentally. A lot of y'all too poor to even go past that. But all three do go together. So I suppose if your mind poor and your emotional state poor, I'm quite sure you're poor. Like I don't want to pretend like you probably aren't, but I'm more concerned with the emotional state in the mind. And so that's what I'm speaking of. But you guys will get lost where you do. When you're dealing with the poor, we're speaking about the physically impoverished. Salam, shalom. Thank you, Ron, for the gift back. We're speaking of the physical poverties. The impoverished, meaning the people from the poor environments that are poor. The poor view money as getting their life together. Like I said, the poor view. Oh, feathers, pin. No. I forgot. If you're emotionally impoverished, please don't come here. You're gonna disturb, my good. I like enjoying myself. And so, the poor view money as getting their life together. Because of that mindset, when the poor get wealth, they don't never get their life together. Because in their mind, getting money is getting their life together. Now, of course, you got the mental state, the emotional state, but like I said, when you're dealing with the poor environments, they view money as the ends to all their problems, the mental, the emotional. So they figure if they get wealth, that's getting their life together. And it really has nothing to do with if you got emotional and mental issues, wealth is only going to add to them. And so, most people who are wealthy, they came from the impoverished side. And this is why the wealthy is disturbed. Because it's like I said, the poor view wealth as getting their life together. So once they get rich, then they like, I got my life together. Now they all crumbled and crushed up inside. They know this. And the mind all scrambled up too. But they say, wealth is getting your life together, so I suppose this is getting your life together, having a lot of money and still feeling like shit. Or more like shit than you felt before. And the mind more clouded and cluttered than it was before when you was broke. To where you at the point where you like, man, more money, more problems. Oh no, you are the problem. I know. You had problems when you was broke. That's why you got more problems now that you got money. But don't blame it on the money. It's you. You're problematic. I gotta stop bothering y'all. I'm sorry. Sorry. Those of y'all in good spirits, I'm sure you grasp everything I'm saying. The wealthy get, the poor get wealthy. They think that's getting their life together. They forget about their mind and their spirit, their emotional state. And so the wealth only adds to those two things. You know, their poor mind and their poor emotional state. And eventually, so the inner will manifest out. And so eventually they find themselves poor again. And so if you're wealthy, these jewels are for you. Wealth or getting money has nothing to do with getting your life together. You can take a crackhead, give them a lot of money, and they'll kill themselves in a year with the wealth, smoking crack. And I'm just giving you that as an example so you could see wealth ain't got nothing to do with getting your life together, because if you already fucked up, like let's say a crackhead, I don't think $50 gonna do you any good. That shit gonna add to the heart attack and stroke that you're gonna have down the line. You give a crackhead $50,000, they're gonna smoke $50,000 worth of crack in 1 weekend. You only smoke $100 worth of crack on the weekends. But if you give them $50,000, they're a crackhead. They're not gonna say, "Let me budget this out like a job." Say, "No, we can smoke all this shit right now. We can smoke the whole 50,000, like Tyrone, Dave Chappelle shit. You have a whole crack party, and we smoke all that crack right now." You could doubly give them 100,000. You say it's no way, motherfucker, going to buy $100,000 worth of crack. A crackhead would. You say I ain't got to go back to the crack man for the whole rest of the day now. Now you say, "Huh, nigga, that's $100,000 worth of crack you got there. You should be good for the whole year." No, the whole day. You gonna smoke all that? Kill himself, give himself a stroke in 1 day. He was probably gonna have a stroke 5 years from now, because he was gonna smoke $50,000 worth of crack within the next 5 years, like over time. The point I'm making is, use that analogy. Wealth ain't getting your life together. Getting your life together is an internal thing. Has to do with the mind and the emotional state. This is what needs to be wealthy. If this is not wealthy, then your ass is impoverished. And you're going to be impoverished eventually physically. You're going to keep getting attracted to the impoverished minded. And so hopefully that's clear. Can I get some thumbs up, please? I don't want to deal with, not having manners is a sign of poverty. See, when you're dealing with the psychology of impoverished environments, these impoverished environments, they come with ideals, morals, and values that all the poor that live there adopt. Now, if these poor people don't adjust their morals at some point in their life, then these morals and values and ideals they live by will keep their poverty in cycle. Meaning, poor people are bound to poor environments because of the ideals and morals of the environment keeps them impoverished. It's a simple thing to grasp. It's science. And so you want to make sure your mind, you get all the poverty out your mind and your emotional state. A lot of y'all have, you're frustrated, you're angry. That's poverty. You got internal frustrations and you got problems. You need to get it together. That's called poor. On an emotional level, on a mental level. See, the poor have this mindset and they adopt it from the environment. In the poor environments, they are done wrong by society. And so, because of that ideal and that thought that all people from the impoverished environments adopt, it helps them to rob and steal and sell drugs and do anything that they want. And then when they get caught, they can always blame it on that, because to them they was the victim from jump. And so whoever they afflict, well, it's not about them. It's about me. Society oppressed me. What am I supposed to do? Get it? They're so poor they can't see past their poverty to say, hold the fuck up. That makes no sense. I just robbed this motherfucker. He ain't got nothing to do with my situation. The point I'm making is, if you're dealing with somebody who is emotionally poor or mentally poor, they come from a poor environment, so they have these ideals and they've never adjusted them. This is how y'all get into relationships with people, make friends with people, and these people do your ass any old kind of way, and in their mind it's justified. Some of y'all like, yeah, I know people like that, they be doing me dirty, but they always find a way to swiggle out of it. Like, no, they ain't. It's the poverty in them that they adopted from the environment. Nigga can bust somebody over the head and burglarize somebody's house and then get caught and say, but I come from a impoverished environment. Society. You get it? I'm a product of my environment. They got every excuse to justify them of any act they do. It can even be murder. And so I'm trying to get you guys to grasp a deep thing. A lot of you guys adopt poverty from the people y'all deal with. Now you're in a relationship or a friendship with somebody, and they may do you wrong. But you notice in their mind they don't see nothing wrong with what they did. And then they may do something again, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with this person? That they have a poor mind, poor emotional state. And so in their mind they can do whatever they want. And it's never truly their fault. That's why I gave you the example, like, a person could rob and steal from somebody and just blame it on the poor environment they come from. They're the victim first before anybody else that gets victimized. A lot of y'all have adopted those ideals. It may not be on that level, but it may be on a level within your relationships. You're unfair in it, and then you act like, I ain't gotta be fair, that's that poverty, where you feel like I can do what I want, or be unfair, whatever, and it ain't no big deal. It is a big deal. And so the mind and the emotional state have to be adjusted to where the self want to be. Because all you want to attract like that, acting like that, is other impoverished, stupid-minded motherfuckers. Because they the only ones living by those ideals. Where life don't have to be fair, because life did them fair first. And so you got to learn how to identify that. Most people who have wealth, they coming from poverty. So it doesn't matter if a person has wealth. They may still have the impoverished mind or the impoverished emotional state, where they think they can do whatever they want because society did them wrong. Now, just because they have wealth now, so they will still carry over the ideals. It's just like the poor guys from Chicago become rich rappers and they still running around like gang members. They carry over the ideals. So, hopefully y'all grasping. Can I get some thumbs up, please? Salam, shalom. Sir Jones said, oh boy, peace and wisdom. Hopefully y'all grasping. Like I said, this is for the wealthy. It's not necessarily for the impoverished. I don't want the poor to think that the poor finish. We speak in emotional and mental. Those of y'all that want to get lost on the physical, you can. I wouldn't care. But I'm not trying to deal with the impoverished. It's like I said, if you wealthy and you give a poor person $1 of your wealth, so you take on $1 of their poverty. Now, if you apply that to your mental state and your emotional state and the wealth of that, you can't afford to give no dollar worth of your pure emotional state to a disturbed motherfucker. Because you're going to take on a dollar's worth of however much you give them, you're going to take their poverty in it. If it's emotional, so grass, you better be rich in spirit. Because that little bit of their emotional state problems going to carry over on you. Same with the mind. When you notice you're growing in your mental and emotional state, you want to continue growing, meaning you want to change your environment. You want to start to learn what poverty is. And so you can adjust these things. Now, how will you know if you're outgrowing the environment or the poverty you're in? If you feel envy coming your way, it's because you're above the people and the environment you're in. I'm going to say it again. If you somebody and you living right now and you feel envy coming your way, it's because you're above the people and the environment you're in. The problem is you're not moving on, meaning you're growing and becoming bigger, but you're staying where you don't blend anymore, you stand out. And so you're not moving on to environments where you can grow. Get my point? And so if you someone and you like, yeah, I be feeling niggas be hating on the law, they be acting a little weird, like speaking their pains out on the law. You too big for the environment and the people. You have to move on to places more suitable for where you are mentally and emotionally. Now you may be somebody you like, yeah, I feel you on that. I'm outgrowing these stupid motherfuckers around me, man. In this environment, it's time for me to go. If you cannot move on, meaning you do not have the means to move on, past this environment and these people that you are above now. You're not above the people or the environment. You just got ego. You get my point? Now apply this to self. I'm sure some of y'all watching, you say, yeah, he right. I'm above the environment, man. I'm above the people in the environment now. I've outgrown. But you have no means to go anywhere. That part. You are just like the people. You just the one amongst them with a whole bunch of ego. If you've truly outgrown the environment and the people, you should have the means to go to. You get my point? It's not just physical and emotional. Whatever's mentally and emotionally is going to manifest out physically. You get my point? As the mind and the emotional state evolve or develop, so will the physical aspects of things. Meaning, if you have evolved and outgrown the environment and the people that are in it, your being able to leave it should be something you can do at any instance. The only thing that should be the troubles is, you get it? You're being familiar. I'm saying that because a lot of you guys have a lot of ego. So you just want to be better. You get my point? You say like, yeah, I'm better than these motherfuckers. But you in the same state as the impoverished in the environment. You're just putting yourself above. It's not about that. As you grow, you will just start to have a different viewpoint. Your emotional state will not blend with the environment and the people. This is how you know you're growing. And so, look at it like this. You growing has a measure or length of distance. As you grow or as you deteriorate, there will become a distance between you and your past. And this is including people. Meaning, if you want to measure, man, am I growing emotionally and mentally? If there's a distance, if it's starting to become a distance between you and your past, meaning environments as well as the people in it, this is how you will know, like, yeah, I think I'm starting to grow. I don't mean you distancing yourself, but it just naturally happening, naturally distancing. It's because you're evolving or growing, and so it's making for the distance. Now, so it's the same if you're deteriorating. It's going to cause distance. But growth always has to do with the length of distance. You'll be able to tell if you're growing from things like that. And so, if you feel envy coming your way, like I said, it's because you're above the environment and the people there. We're speaking emotionally and mentally. Of course, whatever's within will manifest without. So you probably have more finances than them as well. But, you get my point? We're focusing on the emotional state and the mind. And so, if you're someone growing, apply what I'm saying. Meaning, you have to always make sure you blend with the environment. If you don't, it's because you've outgrown or you've outgrown the environment and the people in it. If you guys have any questions, y'all can ask. Mike said, Solace makes me emotional. Shalom, shalom. I cannot make you emotional because I don't have anything to do with you. I'm going to say that again, brother. Peace and wisdom. I can't make you emotional because I don't have anything to do with you. I debated someone before. They said, you trying to make me look stupid. I cannot make you look stupid. You represent your own self. And I represent my own self. And so if ain't no editing and videos involved, only you can make yourself look stupid. So do you get my point? Mike said, my apologies, brings out emotions. Yeah, this happens with a lot of people. Then y'all start talking y'all inner pain out to me, taking it personal. Y'all don't even be talking to y'all. I'm just giving you advice if you impoverished and you want to be out of it. And for those of y'all that's about to be sucked back into it, like I said, you got a lot of young rappers, man. They are acquiring wealth, but they gonna be poor again. You can use Young Thug as an example. YFN Lucci, you know, Shine. This goes back all the way to the beginning of time. And so, a person will always look at you as you look down on them when they view you as above them. So some of y'all may hear stuff like that. Say, man, you think you better than everybody else. You get my point? When you start to hear that, but you didn't say it, they just view it like, no, it's in your actions. You act like you think you better than people. They have that perception that you are better than them and above them. But the way the subconscious works is going to speak in reverse. And so you're never going to hear someone say, man, I think you better than us and above us. They're going to say, you think you are. So if you be like, I didn't say nothing about I was better than y'all, then they're going to say, well, you act like. But it's like I said, a person's going to always look at it like you're looking down on them if they view you as above them. I'll give you an example. I've never said to somebody, you think you better than me. You know why I've never said that to somebody? Because my mind can't fathom that somebody think they better than me. I'm wise fucking Silas. Why would you think, you get it? It has nothing to do with ego. It's never popped in my mind that somebody will actually think they better than me. Why? They would have to tell me that. Like, I'm better than you, blah, blah, blah. But if you never don't say that, you can act however the fuck you want. I wouldn't think that you think you better than me. That's, like I said, my security levels is up to par. So I don't never think like I said, I'm Wild Silence. Why would anybody think they better than me? The fuck do that have to do with me? And so I'm giving you that example so you could see. If you somebody that think like that, where you like, nah, motherfuckers be acting like they better than niggas. You view them as above you or better than you. Or you perceive others to view them as above you or better than you. It's all your perspective. Your perception is impoverished, meaning you view yourself as low and impoverished and nothing. And so you get it? When you say that, you speak your own pain and your own truth out. And so a lot of you guys that are impoverished, be mindful of these things. Now push y'all own hurt and truth and perspective out when you think in that way. If the person never told you they think they better than you, and they're with you, that part, you're disturbed. You view them as better than you, more than you, or something. If that's what popped in your mind, that they think they better than you. And that's the subconscious. The subconscious is opposite of the conscious. Now, I told you guys the subconscious ain't nothing but the unconscious mind. But when y'all are awake, the unconscious mind becomes the subconscious. And it's like what challenges you. You guys always arguing with self. Meaning you guys always arguing with the subconscious. And so it has a reverse perspective. Meaning, if you feel like you ain't nothing, or you ain't doing nothing with yourself, then the subconscious just holds that truth that you're elusive. This is your subconscious. It holds the perspective that you are elusive. And so now when you look through your conscious eyes, feeling like a loser though, subconsciously, when people do things that's more than you can do, then you like, man, they think they better than people. But this is the subconscious or the conscious speaking in reverse of the subconscious. Meaning, I've never heard anybody ever say, man, this person is better than me, more than me. And you never will. But you will hear them say that the person think they better. And that's their own acknowledgement to self. I have to get my life together. Meaning, if you find yourself doing that, well, you're going to be in that place for quite some time until you get to a place where you realize, yeah, I have to get my life together. Otherwise, I'll be sitting around talking dumb shit, revealing to everybody in the world that you think you lusting. That should never pop in your mind. You get my point? Meaning you should never be the igniter to say that. Let another person tell it or say it like, I'm better than you. Then take it in. If you already have that within just from their actions and things, does that mean you already kind of view it that way yourself? Because there's nobody I've ever been around where I felt like that. Like they think they better than me. Or they are better than me. And it's because they not. Now, whatever lack a person has, if you take away that lack, then I guarantee they won't say that. You think you better than me. They think highly of themselves now. You take that same person, give them $1 million and give them all the fly shit in life. They not going to say to nobody, yo, you think you better than me. Ain't going to even be in their mind. Try to grasp. And so, like I said, the subconscious, it speaks in reverse. The envy and the ego, they go hand in hand. Meaning, if you're viewed as having an ego, You've outgrown the people in the environment you're in. You don't ever have to question that. I'll say it again. If you viewed as having an ego, you have outgrown the environment and the people that you are around. If you feel envy towards somebody, then you have to get your life together. That means you are not where you're supposed to be. The envy and the ego go hand in hand. If you're envious of me, I'm in a space I should not be in, which is around you. If you, from the flip side, feel envy towards me, you have to do better for yourself. Because my doing better has now become a mirror reflection of what you lack. You get it? You got a buddy, y'all are cool. This buddy starts to accumulate wealth. You get my point? They become a mirror reflection of you, of wherever you lacking at. This ain't got nothing to do with the wealth, because their wealth gonna be a result of their mind and their emotional state. Because they coming from the same poverty you are. They was your buddy. But somehow, opportunity came their way, not yours. You can't see it's your fucked up, impoverished emotional state in mind. That part. And so I'll say again, if you have envy inside, this is the source of your poverty. This is why I say, if you feel like you have envy, remember the subconscious speaks in reverse, so you're never going to hear an envious person say, I'm envious. They're going to say other things, like it's the person. But if you want to know if you're envious, if you don't really have no connection to that person, yet you're disturbed by something they do or them, you're jealous. That's what that means. Again, if you see somebody, you don't know them, they have nothing to do with your reality, yet you're still a little annoyed, you're jealous. If you have envy in you, it means you need to do, you're not where you want to be, or something. Something's wrong within. You have to fix that. You get my point? When people are jealous of people, it's usually because of a wealth, whether it's physical wealth, emotional wealth, or mental wealth. Some people are happy, good spirited. You have low life, poor, impoverished spirited people. That disturbs them. This happy go lucky motherfucker. They just got a problem. They so poor emotionally. So it's the same on the mental level. You can be really wise, and so a poor minded soul's gonna get envious. And so it's the same on a physical level with money. And so you have to be able to identify. Meaning y'all play games around the envy and the ego. These things is just signs to self. So you know when you need to adjust. Y'all emotional state is like y'all compass. When you feel this emotion, you're supposed to know where you are to adjust. When certain emotions come to y'all from the outer, y'all supposed to know where y'all are to adjust. Meaning emotional states, which are colors, are for man to adjust himself. It's like a compass. If I'm somewhere and I start to feel envious, then I have to use that compass, which is that emotions that I'm feeling. First, you have to be real with self and honest with self. And so most people haven't even broke through that part where they real with themselves. You have to be real with the self first to even accomplish this, meaning cleansing the spirit away. How can you cleanse the spirit away and you lie to self? How? I don't have no emotional problems. I ain't envious of nobody. I don't know how you gonna clean your emotional state lying to yourself. But when you get to a place where you don't lie to yourself no more, you get it? Then you can begin your path of cleaning away some of that junk. And it starts there, being able to identify. And so if you know, like, damn, I feel a little envy towards this person or that person. They ain't did nothing to me. I'm just annoyed by them. It's envy. And that envy can be used as a compass for you to say, okay, I need to adjust my emotional state. I'm getting on the impoverished side. I don't know that person. We have no connection. There's no reason How do my energies get outside of myself all the way over there? You get it? You have to become the guardian of self. Hold on, my shit went too far. We talking about your energies. Fuck, my energies get all the way over there with this motherfucker. I don't even know him like that. You gotta bring self back. Hold on. Because ain't nobody else gonna bring you back. Just be envious of motherfuckers forever, adding to your poverty. And that's gonna manifest out physically. Meaning you're not gonna be poor-minded and poor-spirited and think you're not gonna be poor physically. You a fool if you think that ain't the reality. There's a bunch of rappers and stars y'all can look at that's poor-minded and poor-spirited, and they live in debt, and they're still poor. And so you gotta grasp, passion is a hard fire to tame. I'm not sure what you're saying, Mike. Why do you keep laughing, Dina May? Oh, that's old. I apologize. And so, it's like I said, you have to be able to identify when on the external level, you start to feel envy, and you get it, unwarranted negative energies. Where you like, damn, motherfucker gave me a dirty look. I don't even know this motherfucker like that. Like, you get it? You live in an environment, or you find yourself working in an environment, or hanging out in an environment, and you start to notice the energies becoming negative towards you. It ain't verbally being said, but you feel it in your own self. Because, of course, we have senses. These senses go beyond the vessel. Your sight, which is a sense, it go beyond the vessel. Your hearing, it's a sense, it go beyond the vessel. Your sense of feeling and touching, all these things go beyond the vessel. And so y'all can feel the hate and the negative energy sometimes coming from the environment and the people in it. Even if it ain't a physical attack or a verbal attack. You get it? But y'all can still pick up on certain things like face expression, fake shit. Y'all sense it. Don't get upset at that. That's your compass for you to see, okay, I've outgrown or become bigger. You get it? In mind and emotional state, and probably financially, than the people in this environment. And so that's why I'm not blending in no more or hidden in. If you're more impoverished than the environment you're in, so you're going to be like hidden, no one even notice you. If you're at equal level of poverty as the environment, so then you blend. Some of y'all kicking back in the projects right now. Now the projects is a place of poverty, but you don't got no troubles or no drag there. You don't feel no negative emotional energies or nothing like that. You just like, I don't want to be here. But outside of that, ain't no friction amongst the people. It's because you blend with the environment. However impoverished the environment is, you are. So there is no friction to be had. You get it? Eventually you sink down more and more impoverished until you're not even noticed in the environment. If you begin to raise above that poverty, then you begin to get noticed or stand out. You're going to know that from what you feel. It's not for you to get mad. You have to move on. You get my point? You cannot outgrow an environment and a people and still be around. Get my point? So, some may grow with you, some may not. But so you have to grow. The tree is being planted inside the house, and when it gets a certain length, then it's taken outside and taken out of the pot and put into the yard. It needs a bigger space. You have to view self like that. Weeds is always going to be around. When a flower's growing, it's always going to be weeds attached. The resistance. But you need that to grow. You get my point? Y'all have y'all little issues in life. Y'all conquer them or overcome them. Then y'all grow. Y'all had y'all first fights in the neighborhood. Then, you had to go through that resistance. Now you got your respect. And you get it? Every time you need the resistance, it's going to help for you to evolve past the point you have reached, but you have to be aware of it. Why she get stopped? Are y'all following what I'm saying? Dina May said, standing out like a sore thumb. It's time to move on. A lot of y'all need to grasp that. You want to be aware of your mind and your emotional state. That way you can know where you're supposed to even be environment wise, because a lot of y'all are bringing on poverty onto your emotional state and your mind by sticking around in the environment you've already outgrown. It's going to lead to you having to be there for real. And so, like I said, the ego, the envy, these things go hand in hand. There's really no ego or envy. There's just people not being where they want to be and people being where they have outgrown. Again, if you're poor and impoverished, physically, mentally, and emotionally, then for you it needs to be an argument, and I'm sure you're going to say, no, that's not accurate. But if you somebody that's growing in mind, growing in spirit, growing financially, then you grasp what I said. There's no ego in envy. There's just the perception or the perspective of somebody that is not where they want to be. And so when they see people that are further along than they are, those people become a mirror reflection to them of how much they lack. Like, get my point? I'm supposed to be this, I'm supposed to be that. Ego, envy, is just a result of somebody staying around in environments that they've outgrown, or somebody becoming one with the impoverished environment and not doing all that they want to. And so be mindful of these things. It goes deep. I'll give you another jewel. Manifesting thought. A lot of you guys into that. Say, Solace, I'm trying to manifest something, brother. Can you help me? I'm stuck here in my meditations and things. Let me help y'all out. Manifesting thought is poor man's babble. It's broke nigga talk. You manifest physical things by having the physical means to just go get them. That's how you get the physical things that you want in life. You don't sit around manifesting them. Now watch too much TV. Nigga say, I manifested this mansion in this car. No, he didn't. He acquired the finances that was needed to go get it. He acquired the means to go get it physically. And that's how he physically manifested whatever he has. Manifesting has to do with the spirit and the mind. It has nothing to do, like I said, it's poor man babble. He don't want to do no works. So he trying to find cheat codes and shit. Hey brother, how can I manifest myself $1,000,000? Get your ass to work, nigga. You way behind schedule. That's how. Now, of course, you can put yourself into certain environments and have certain opportunities open up to you. But like I said, manifesting got to do with the mind and the spirit. You can chase $1,000,000 all day, but you need to have the mind and the spirit on that same accord. And so you're asking for manifestations that have to do with the mind and the spirit to help bring about the physical works. You get my point? It's like having a flower and you take the work to water it every day, but now you still have to hope for sunlight, moonlight. These are things outside of your power. Are they in your power when you're talking about yourself emotionally? Or let's say they're not. But you can still, you get it? There's still an aspect that you can't control. You could do the physical works or something, but if your mind and your heart ain't in it, you might as well not do this shit because you're not gonna do it right. Meaning some of y'all like that. You trying to manifest your goals out and your life careers and you ain't in it, mind and heart wise, you ain't in it. And that's why it's taking so long for you. You get my point? Because you're not doing the work right. Your mind, your spirit gotta be in it. And so this is what manifesting the will is about. Understanding, damn, I forgot to charge. It's gonna cut off. But y'all got a good amount of deep knowledge. Damn, I forgot all about that. I still got quite a whiles to go. Finish the memory parts of this thing. But like I said, you guys have gotten quite enough. Y'all didn't give back anything. So I'm truly talking to the wrong crowd. But the few of y'all that do have, financial wealth, spiritual wealth, mental wealth, go get your buddies. I'm trying to get the poverished out of here, man. You really don't get it. Kind of stick around. What's going on now, yeah? And so, like I said, I forgot where I was. Just be mindful of the things I said. Okay, I still do have a little bit more time before it shuts down. I have a little time before it shuts down, but this is my meditation time, and so I'm gonna take that time. You guys enjoy your evening. Salam, shalom. Come back next time balanced and in good emotion.